Magandang araw mga kapuso at kapamilya! Panahon na naman ang kasiyahan dito sa Masayang Tahanan.
Magandang araw sa lahat ng ating mga ka-family. Ito po ang inyong Masayang Tahanan at ako ang inyong kumare forever, Maloy Malibiran sa Lumbides. Nagpapatuloy ang countdown para sa nalalapit na Kapaskuhan. Kamusta naman ang inyong mga preparations para sa Christmas season? I hope that aside from the gifts that you buy, at yung mga parties na inyong pinaghahandaan at pupuntahan, ang mga kakainin pagdating sa mga reunion na magaganap, I hope na ang inihahanda rin natin ay ating mga puso, ang ating mga pamilya para sa mga meaningful celebrations na talagang nakasentro kay Jesus. Kasi we can have fun all we want, pero kung wala si Kristo doon sa ating mga celebration, wala. Pagguran lang ang mangyayari. Kaya wag pong kalilimutan, pinakamagandang paghahanda para po sa Kapaskuhan ay ihanda ang ating mga puso, ihanda ang ating mga pasasalamat at bilangin ang atin pong mga pagpapalang natanggap sa buong taon na ito. May each day be an opportunity for us to share our testimony and proclaim the goodness of God in our families and in our lives. Ngayon pong araw na ito, espesyal ang atin pong panauhin at napakaganda ng kwento ng kanyang buhay, kung papaano siyang kinuha ng Panginoon. Parang kitang-kita sa buhay niya yung kanta ni Gary V na Take Me Out of the Dark, no? Kasi from a very dark period in his life, talagang kinuha siya ng Panginoon at binigyan ng bagong simula. Isa pong bank supervisor ang atin pong guest ngayon dito sa Masayang Tahanan. He came to faith in 2017. Siya po ay nakaranas ng maraming mga pagsubok sa buhay. Nag-experiment with drugs, nagkaroon ng anak nung siya po ay binata pa, nagkaroon ng mga suicidal thoughts, pero sa lahat ng ito, makikita natin ang tagumpay, ang victory na ibinibigay ng Panginoon sa mga tumatawag at nagtitiwala sa Kanya. Ngayon po, siya ay nakapangasawa na. He has his family and they are expecting their first child sa susunod pong taon. Kasama natin ngayong araw na ito si Paulo Miguel Acosta. Pau, welcome sa Masayang Tahanan.
Thank you po and magandang araw po, Sister Maloy. Thanks for having me here po.
Natutuwa kami kasi kahit na puyat ka buhat sa iyong night shift, nandito ka, alert na alert, gising na gising para i-inspire ang ating mga viewers at listeners. Pau, baka meron kang mga gustong batiin, mga churchmates mo, kamag-anak mo na nanonood at nakikinig sa atin ngayon?
Yes, gusto po muna batiin yung D-group leader ko. Currently, si Brother John and yung wife niya, si Sister Mean, and my former D-group leader, Ralph Alega, and also to my brothers and sisters in Christ in CCF Alabang. And also, my wife, who's in the other room, resting, kay Ice. Good morning, Yom. Ayan po. And good morning din po sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin ngayon.
Oo. Good morning sa mga nandito sa Pilipinas, sa ibang mga time zones, kung ano man po ang time zone ninyo, good day. Magandang araw sa inyo. Pau, natutuwa kami kasi nga you've made yourself available, parang ilang beses din nating sinubukang i-schedule itong kwentuhan nating ito, pero maraming mga nangyari, but I am grateful to God na eto natuloy na ang ating interview. Pao, kwentuhan mo kami ng konti. Nabanggit mo nung nagpe-prepare tayo dito sa ating episode na yung 2010 to 2016 were really dark days and dark years of your life. Bakit? I-describe mo sa amin, ano ba yung buhay mo noong mga panahong iyon?
During those time, nung graduate ako, I was already expecting a daughter. So, which is okay, masaya. There's a lot of challenges. Of course, it was unexpected. I've hurt people because of what I've done. And obviously, when you're someone, magalit sila sa'yo. And to the point na I wasn't mature enough to take the responsibility, or I wasn't mature enough on how to respond to these kind of situations. So, ang nangyari, I took everything negatively, and parang feeling ko galit sa akin lahat ng tao in both families. Ganun yung naramdaman ko. To the point na I feel really weak and vulnerable, and I was seeking for something na who would save me on that kind of situation. But I didn't get any act of kindness during those time, at least to what my understanding that time was. So yun, so since maaga ako nagka-daughter responsibility, I just focus on work. And yun nga lang, when you work, there's a lot of temptation. So actually school pa lang, marami ng temptation. So paano pa sa work, you get to have your own money. You have a little money to spend on some things na which aren't godly. So it was for me like parang I really can compare myself to the prodigal son during that time na parang I was eating the food of the pigs na parang sobrang dumi, and to the point na ganun yung ginagawa ko for 8 years. And then I got so depressed na parang kasing during those time when I graduated, someone shared to me the gospel, and my ninang invited me to CCF. Doon pa yun sa lumang CCF sa may rooftop pa. I forgot the name of the building. So that time parang na-culture shock ako kasi pagpasok ko ng church, nakita ko lahat ng tao parang alive. So parang ako during that time, ano to? Nagulat talaga ako. Tapos during that time na problema pa ako dun sa situation ko na magkakaanak na ako. At this early time, wala pa akong trabaho. Parang we have plans ng family ko na magiging nurse ako, pumunta akong US. Although it wasn't really my plan. Kasi nursing wasn't really my first choice. So, pero parang sabi ko, ito na ba yung parang napapanood ko? Kasi during that time, ang makulit doon, nilunch din yung Angelito. So parang sabi ko, ano ba to? Parang panama talaga sa akin yung teleserye na yun. So when I entered church, parang I understand na sinishare nila yung gospel, pero all I hear that time na parang may nagri-ring sa tenga ko na parang ganun lang. Kasi because of what's going on, parang gusto kong himatayin, gusto ko lang sa isang side, gusto ko lang tumahimik, or siguro nakatulala lang ako that time. But
ano yun, nung in-invite ka ng ninang mo doon sa CCF, so na-culture shock ka, nagulat ka, masasaya yung mga tao doon, samantalang sa kalooban mo you were starting to lose hope already, ano?
Apa.
So may culture shock, but nasundan ba yon? Bumalik ka ba sa church after that initial experience?
After dun po, I tried to join a small group pero hindi tumuloy. Kasi for me, yung travel that time is napakalayo. So from Ortigas to Las Piñas, parang hindi siya sa akin. Then, umatid ako one session. So parang I didn't really felt welcome that time. And siguro hindi ko rin kaya pang mag-open. And I'm not ready, I guess. So after that, wala na. I started working. And then, I just focus on work. But of course, alongside that, maraming kalokohan sa gilid. And maybe I guess I was looking for the usual. Kasi when we don't have Christ in our lives, we look for meaning in life eh. Kaso nga lang, sa maling lugar natin hinahanap yung mga relationship. We mistake purpose, we mistake pleasure. Naakala natin yung pleasure na ginagawa natin, yun yung pinaka-purpose natin. So, just like the rest, the common struggle of other people, so I struggled with vices, alcohol, too much alcohol in fact, drugs, occasionally, not totally addicting, but to the point na it was a source of my comfort. And then, multiple relationships, so, ano pa ba yung mga kasama doon, yung mga sex outside marriage, or ang term doon, nakalimutan ko. Pero yun, ganun po, it's a complete cycle. And then parang I see the people around me, parang ba't sila parang nagpa-progress? Bakit yung mga tao na I ask myself, I see rich people doing this crazy stuff na they get away with. So doon talaga na-realize ko na ang pananaw ko noon is life is about money and power. Na kung sino yung may upper hand sa mga bagay-bagay, sila yung kaya nilang gawin. And life is just really unfair. To the point, ayun nga po na-mention ko kanina na I was feeling so down and I lost hope na I want to commit suicide. I was in our province that time eh. I wanted to commit suicide. And kaso yun nga po, hindi ko kaya saktan yung sarili ko. Takot ako. Parang sabi ko, imbis na mag-suicide ako, magliliwaliw na lang ako hanggang sa mamatay ako siguro, ganun. Pero to the point na I prayed to the other side. Parang I prayed to the devil na totoo ka ba? Totoo bang nasasangla yung kaluluwa? Kasi kung totoo, bigyan mo ako ng all the riches and all the power. Sa'yo na yung kaluluwa ko. Ganun. And I was in the room sa bahay ng lola ko that time na I was crying, I was so frustrated, I was so angry na hindi ko na lang alam. Tapos, wala, lumipas lang. So, nothing really happened that time. Parang after ko umiyak that time, tuloy pa rin. And then, after that was 2017, sabi ko, sige, I'll just live my life for my daughter. Yun lang. I'll support my daughter sa mga kailangan niya, and that's going to be my purpose. So, bumalik ako Manila.
So, paano nagkaroon ng ganong transition or realization, no? You were trying so many stuff, ang dami mong sinusubukan, vices, recreational drugs, sex outside of marriage, multiple partners, and you even reach the point na dinedare mo ang enemy, ang demonyo, hindi ba? Pero buti na lang hindi ka sineryoso at hindi ka pinakinggan. Tapos biglang nagkaroon ka one day ng realization na, okay, I will live my life for my daughter. Paano nagkaroon ng ganong turn around? At paano parang bigla kang natauhan na meron ka nga palang anak at you need to provide for her? How did that happen?
For me po kasi, I grew up very far away with my father that time. And one promise na sinabi ko is I'll never be like my father. Kasi parang during those time, my mom really needed him. And me too. Ilang beses siya nag-promise before kasi nag-work siya sa abroad eh. He promised us many times na uwi na siya. And nung malaman namin, nagkaroon pala siya ng family doon. Although wala naman siya anak, pero nagkaroon siya ng ibang partner doon, and totally na-cut yung communication namin sa kanya. So, sabi ko, at least yun na lang yung mabuti kong magawa na may magsusuporta dun sa anak. Okay.
Mm.
Pero,
Paano yung relationship mo with your paano yung naging relationship mo sa naging partner mo, yung mother ng iyong anak during your dark years?
yun po break na po kami noon. But she allows me to see my daughter naman. So, ano po yun is a long build up din para mag-gain yung trust nila na ma-meet ko yung daughter ko, maipasyal ko. Although despite na ganun, hindi pa rin natitigil yung mga vices ko sa gilid. So parang my daughter was the only good thing happening to me that time. So pag umalis na ako, hinatid ko rin yung daughter ko, balik na naman ako sa dati kong buhay na yun. Ganun. So parang sa akin, doon ang pananaw ko is steady lang, work lang, konting bisyo rito, pero ang main ko is kailangan may mapangatustos ako sa anak ko, spend my time para maramdaman ng ano ko na lumaki siya na may tatay na gano'n. But it came to a point din na what can I offer my daughter? Umabot ako sa point na parang ano ba yung pinaka-significant na kayang ibigay ko sa daughter? Kasi wala akong maibibigay sa kanya when it comes to worldly riches. I'm that rich. Wala. Parang lalaki siya dito ng walang meaning yung mundo. Na wala akong mai-share sa kanya na ganito ang buhay. So, that was another sign of my wake-up call na parang meron talagang purpose na parang God uses His creation na to share who really God is. And for me, when I reached that moment, that's when I started praying na parang nagpe-pray lang ako. Sabi, siguro during that time hindi ko pa kine-question kung nandiyan ka ba talaga eh. But nagpe-pray lang ako kasi yun nakasanayan natin ever since, diba? Elementary, high school. But I never prayed like kung paano yung tinuro sa school. One thing I remember is our family, when I was really young, hindi pa umalis yung father ko, is pinipilit nila ako basahin yung Psalm 23 before matulog. Pero ayoko. So parang may mga times ako na may flashback na our family used to believe. Pero ano nangyari? So na-realize ko din doon na ang laki ng factor pag yung father is leading the family talaga eh. Kasi I believe at some point our family was nandun sa stage na may Christian leadership eh. Kasi we're Protestant, although I grew up in a Catholic school. Parang mas na when I pray, I don't really prefer using yung mga prayers na parang nakalaan na, yung
Memorized
prayers. So I prefer yung parang and as I was growing, I really didn't believe in the doctrine na tinuturo na parang kasi it's really all about what you do and not about God eh. So although hindi ko pa alam yun na it should be all about God, pero parang sa akin lang, okay, kung pwede rin pala ako mag-confess, pwede ako magsala intentionally and then sorry na lang ako ulit. So parang gano'n. Pero going back, yun nga po, I realized na parang na-realize ko na mayroong meaning dito. Mas malalim pa na purpose dito. Kasi kung walang mas malalim na purpose tayo dito sa mundo, parang it's all in vain. And I was scared, not for me, but I was scared for my daughter na who will grow up in this world. So, pero before I came to that, ang laki mo ng transition ko ba ron? Kasi I started working in the company 2017, yung steady na ako nakakapagbigay sa daughter ko ng pang-tustos. And then, during that time, I was also studying Buddhism, the Eightfold Truth ng Buddhism. So, parang
so talagang
okay
nasa seeking period ka talaga nito because you were trying a lot of things that even other religions, ano?
Yes, po. Opo, actually,
So
I studied.
ano yung na-realize mo nung nagsusubo ka ng ibang religion?
When I studied Buddhism, it's all about the Eightfold Truth. And parang it all boils down then to good words, to karma. Na, na what you give out to this world, yun din yung babalik sa'yo. Which is, I really didn't experience. Na parang, ang dami-dami kong ginawang mabuti, pero tinan mo naman yung nangyari sa akin, ganito pa rin ako. Na parang ang dami ko na-experience na unfair scenarios or unfair situations sa buhay ko. But, siguro slowly, God was changing me that time kasi I came to a point na when I was just so focused in improving my career na for my daughter, I came to a point na mayroon akong in-applyan na work. And kasi ang nangyari noon, nasa BPO ako, and then my aunt helped me to get a job at the hospital. So naging OR nurse ako. But in my duration that for almost a year, sabi ko, hindi ko talaga kaya maging nurse. And yung na-experience ko rin sa hospital na very toxic scenario or very toxic experience sa hospital, gusto ko talagang umalis na. So, nung umalis ako, wala akong work, wala na lahat ng ipon ko, and yung mga pamigay ko sa daughter ko is inuutang ko. So, I applied to the company where I'm working right now, and I was really praying to the point I dared God. Sabi ko, which is hindi dapat, diba? We shouldn't dare God. But I was innocent
Pero
that time.
etong time na to, Pao, etong time na to, si God na ang kausap mo, hindi na
Apo,
the other
hindi na po.
side.
Hindi na po,
Oo.
opo. So yun po, nirelect ako na Lord, kung nandyan ka ba talaga? Totoo ka ba talaga? And then, it come to a point na nag-apply ako sa kung saan ako nag-work ngayon. And my prayer was, sabi ko, Lord, pag ako natanggap rito, promise, magsisimba ako every Sunday sa mag-worship ako every Sunday non-stop. Hindi ako hihinto. And ang nangyari noon, after a few, syempre, tagal. Tapos, nag-try pa ako sa ibang company. Tapos, sa ibang company, parang binabarat ka sa offer. Kasi sabi ko, tagal ko na sa BPO, ganito lang. Tapos, nung nakuha ako, sabi ko, ang saya-saya ko. Tapos, may bonus pa nun eh. Kasi during that time, when I signed the contract, pauwi na ako. Kasi, let's be honest, when we're trying to apply dyan, meron tayong mga expected salary. Gano'n. And then, to the point, nagulat ako kasi I never thought mag-offer silang ganun. Tapos, yung pauwi na ako, tinawagan ako ng HR, sabi niya, Sir, sorry, yung napirmahan mo kasi, mali yung contract. It was supposed to be for a manager. Ako noon, yung entry ako, specialist, sabi ko, ganun ba? Sige, okay lang, wait lang kasi nasa bus na ako, bababala ako, tapos babalik ako. Tapos, nung pagbalik ko ron, sabi nung HR sa akin, so ina-expect ko bababa yung sahod ko, sabi ko, okay lang naman kasi importante may trabaho ako ngayon. So pagbalik ko ron, nag-sorry yung HR sa akin. Kasi, Sir, sorry, hindi kita ulit natawagan. Yung contract mo, no need to resign. Sabi nung manager ko, goods na yan. So parang, grabe yung sabi ko, uy Lord, grabe ka naman, nakala ko mababawasan pa. So, ginawa ko yung promise ko kay Lord. No? So, every Sunday that time, I attended Sunday service here in Alabang. Ay, naralaman ko na may CCF Alabang pala kasi nun eh. So, I attended every Sunday. And, what's striking, kasi every Sunday, nandun ako lagi sa 5th floor, sa may madilim na part. Kasi, parang lahat ng message that time was speaking to me. And I remember yung parang lahat ng topics nun, parang lahat ng tanong ko, tapos especially yung topic about Jonah. Yun po.
Mm-hmm.
So, after several Sundays, I started attending yung biblical foundation. So, para maintindihan ko deeper. And then, as I go on, ayun, it came to a point na it is the only logical explanation ng mga bagay. People say na religion or God is not logical or is not based on science. But nung inaral ko siya, ito yung logical reason kung bakit nangyari yung mga bagay-bagay. And this is the only answer na parang pwede mong may apply sa lahat ng tanong natin dito sa mundo. So, no, the following year, and tinatanong ko pa, magpapapaptize ba ako? Baka mag-fail lang ulit ako. Or baka maging sabihin ng iba, hypocrite ako, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. So, during that time, meron akong relationship na hindi pa na-surrender. Meron akong girlfriend that time and we were having premarital activities. But, yun nga, it came to a stop before I confessed my faith publicly. So, I cut off my relationship during that time. And I accepted Christ. So, during that time, sabi ko, sige Lord, kung totoo naman yung mga nakasulat mo, and if this is the only good news I've heard so far in my whole life, then it's worth a shot. And I'll offer my life, myself, in knowing you and worshiping and praising. So, that's on the 15th of, basta February pa yun, or March. Basta ano yun eh, yung True Life Retreat during that time. I'm sure it's on the 15th of a certain month. Yun, nagpa-baptize na ako. And then the rest is history. The following, same year, I attended a True Life Retreat din, pero it's more immersed with maraming tao. 3 days siya na sa parang sa province, sa site ng CCF. So there I got to understand more people, and I was introduced to my D group leader that time, and yun nga, the rest is history. Yun po.
Medyo talagang mahaba yung naging proseso ng iyong seeking, ng iyong searching until you finally realize, eto na pala yung hinahanap ko. Pero ang maganda nun, talagang intinding-intindi mo, hindi ba? Hindi lang
Yes.
dahil you got emotional with one event and then you surrendered everything to God without understanding the commitment that you are doing. Ito talagang proseso, ang habang taon at ang dami mong mga pinag-eksperimentuhan, hindi ba? Pag balik natin, Pao, itatanong ko sa iyo, ano yung mga nag-transform? Ano yung mga totoong nabago sa buhay mo after this genuine encounter with God? When you declared your faith to Him through baptism, when you cut ties with relationships na hindi glorify sa Panginoon at hindi rin nakakatulong sa iyo, ano ang mga nabago sa buhay mo? Ipagpapatuloy natin ang ating kwentuhan kasama si Paulo Miguel Acosta dito po sa Masayang Tahanan ng Back to the Bible Philippines at ng Far East Broadcasting Company. Tayo po ay napakikinggan sa iba't ibang mga himpilan ng FEBC at syempre ang mother station na 702 DZAS. Napakikinggan din po tayo sa Davao, sa DXFE, si Mami Tan, yan ang mother nila Pastor Arnel Tan. Isa yan sa mga masugid nating tagapakinig. Hello po sa inyo. Maraming salamat for always tuning in. Of course, we are praying para sa mga kababayan natin dyan po sa Mindanao, especially in Davao, Jensan at saka Sarangani na naapektuhan nga po ng napakalakas na paglindol. Ito pong linggong ito, nakaraang linggo. So we are praying for you na yung mga na-traumatize, na stress, na wala ng mahal sa buhay, nasira yung inyong mga buildings o tahanan, we're praying that you will be able to recover soon. Ang ating Diyos ay Diyos ng unlimited chances. Ang ating Diyos ay totoo sa kanyang pangako that if we seek Him, we will find Him. If we call to Him, He will answer us. At ang atin nga pong panauhin ngayon, talagang patotoo na ang Diyos ay sumasagot. naghanap siya. He tried other religions. He even dared the enemy, the devil. Pero sa bandang huli, ang Diyos ang kanyang nasumpungan. Nakita niya yung kanyang hinahanap sa Panginoong Jesus. Kasama natin ngayon si Paulo Miguel Acosta. Pau, you are part of a small group. Bahagi ka ng D-group ngayon na pinangungunahan ng mga kaibigan natin, Pastor John and Mean Singwa. Ano yung kahalagahan na kapag ikay nakakilala sa Panginoon bago sa pananampalataya, gaanong kahalaga na ma-plug in ka talaga sa isang discipleship group?
Ay, sobra po. I think during my time, if I was not plugged into a discipleship group, there will be no transfer of knowledge. Kasi our faith starts with knowledge. Ito naman talaga po din. Parang ito yung totoo, ito yung nakalagay sa Bible. Also, you need a support group. Kasi in our walk po, as a Christian life, it will be full of challenges and traps. Kasi ang gusto ng kalaban natin is may balik tayo dun sa previous state natin na mailayo tayo kay Lord. So I would say my discipleship group that time really helped me to grow as a Christian. And yes, maraming challenges. There were a lot of misunderstanding, but nananaig pa rin yung brotherhood through Christ. So yun po, as written in Hebrews din naman po, diba, na parang we need to stir up each other to be with Christ. Kasi, yun nga, kung yung kasama natin are not Christians who are really part of the world, then we will be influenced. Dalawa lang naman po yun. It's either we be influenced by the world or we be influenced by our fellow brothers to be more Christ-like. So, yun po importance. And one thing po na-experience ko yan, and during pandemic, kasi during pandemic, I was also leading my own D group na, and I was part of a ministry. We were heading a satellite singles ministry already. But when my mother died during pandemic, I got depressed too, to the point na I self-isolated. Which was a bad idea. Kasi during those time na parang I came to a point na parang, teka, why am I doing this again? Na parang sinagip na ako ni Lord dito, bakit ako bumabalik sa mga bisyo ko? So, nung na-realize ko na I was backsliding, parang sabi ko, I need to get replug again. Kailangan ko yung mga brothers and sisters ko sa paligid ko na who are seeking Christ, who are practicing the faith. So, yun po yung kahalagahan kasi yun nga ang plan or ang strategy ng kalaban is to divide and conquer. So, yun po.
Ang gandang reminder niyan, Pao, na kahit na mananampalataya na tayo, sumusunod na tayo sa Panginoon, kung hindi tayo naka-plug in sa isang grupo, a faith community, a small group, mabilis tayong matatarget talaga ng kaaway, hindi ba? Yung strategy nga niya is to isolate us, to divide us. Tapos kapag tayo ay nag-iisa, kung kailan tayo mahina, dun tayo aatakihin talaga. Natanong ko bago tayo nag-music break kanina, ano yung mga transformation na nangyari sa buhay mo nung totoong nakakilala ka sa Panginoon? What happened to the vices? Although during the pandemic, may panahon na medyo nadapa ng kaunti, nagbalik ng konti doon sa ilang mga bisyo. Pero anong nangyari doon sa vices? Mahirap kapag sanay ka na umiinom, you were using drugs recreationally before, What happened to that?
When it comes to my vice smoking po, siguro it was God's will na parang for me to really feel ill kasi when I accepted Christ, nag-iosip pa ako. When I was starting 2016, nag-iosip pa ako. And parang hindi na ako umabot ako sa point na nasusuka na ako lagi. And ubo ko ng ubo. Tapos sabi ko, ano ba ito? Parang di na healthy. And then at the same time, nauso na yung panahon ng mga vape. So, I switched to vape. So, I never smoke again. So, nag-vape ako. But, yun nga, mayroong gentle rebuke pa rin yung group leader ko doon. Parang, ano nga kasi nakakaya minsan pag nag-one-on-one kami sa labas, nag-vape ako. Kasi gaano kami, nagkikwentuhan kami. So, parang mayroong gentle rebuke, gentle reminder siya about yun nga, parang keeping our temple holy. So, although minsan dinadahilan ko, kasi ito yung alternative ko para sa'yo. But praise God, na-surrender din yon after a year. So, parang I totally stopped. Although along the way, parang nag-try ulit ako, pero parang hindi na talaga eh. Kasi even my own body doesn't accept na yung yosi, vape, even alcohol, to the point na 2016 to 2017, I can still drink occasionally. But sa sobrang seldom ko na siya gawin ngayon pag uminom ako, kahit 2 to 3 batas, sobrang sakit na ng ulo ko. And minsan, minamigrate ako, and to the point, nag-develop to vertigo. So I said na hindi na talaga. Kahit siguro for celebration. Kasi nung naging Christian, ang reason ko, siguro I can still drink, pero occasionally, when may occasion talaga, like birthday, or may na-promote sa tropa, ganun, or na-promote ako, or ganun. Pero parang God used my weakness na parang, sige, magaganyan ka, ito maramdaman mo. Parang kay Paul, di ba? Meron siyang may God placed a thorn kay Paul in the flesh. So, yun yung sa akin na parang, okay, sige, hindi na. Kahit ano talaga, hindi na. Yun. So, actually,
Pao, anong nangyari doon sa relationship mo with the mother of your first child, nung daughter mo? Sabi mo kanina parang galit sa'yo ang buong mundo. Sarili mong family, tapos family nung naging girlfriend mo, galit sa iyo. So, what happened to these relationships? Paano na-restore?
Actually, hindi ko nga rin po alam kung paano umabot na napansin ko na lang, okay yung communication namin na walang bad blood, walang negative, yung walang persecution. But I'm not sure if they saw me change. But I can only give the credit to God kasi parang I think they nakuha ko yung tiwala nila ulit because I was being more responsible dun sa daughter ko. And I think it was a start to the point na sometimes I share to them kung ano nang nangyari sa akin, to the point na na-invite ako sa dinner sa kanila when I'm with my daughter, and to the point na nasama ko yung grandmother ng daughter ko sa CCF. So, parang it's amazing talaga on how from one point na nandito na kami ngayon na parang wow, sobrang nakaka-bless yung change na ginawa ni Lord sa relationship namin.
And now you have your own family, no?
Yes.
Meron ka ng wife and you are expecting your baby. Paano kayo nagkakilala?
James, paano daw tayo nagkakilala? During pandemic po, actually, ang nangyari po noon is, parang ikikwento ko yung love story namin. Kasi nauso po yung Dalgona Coffee that time. Nung pandemic po. Tapos, nag-post ako ng Dalgona Coffee ko na fail. Kasi sabi ko, parang ang hirap-hirap na ito? Simple-simple lang yung instructions. Tapos nilait niya yung Dalgona
kasi
Coffee.
Nga nauso yung... nauso nga yung Dalgona Coffee.
Opo. Nilait niya. And then nung nilait niya, parang nagkatuloy-tuloy yung chat namin. Pero wala pa yun. It was wala pang hint. Parang friends lang, usual. Kasi ano eh, during that time, I was praying for someone else. And kaso nga, busted. And then, sabi ko, Lord, if hindi yun yung will mo, baka may other plan ka for me. Baka may iba kang gustong maging kasama ko. Kasi, actually, it was a answered prayer din. Kasi since became a Christian, na parang gusto ko magkaroon ng family, gusto ko nang magkaroon ng wife. I don't think I was meant for single blessedness that time na I was praying for a lifetime partner. And yun yung answered prayer through the Dalgona coffee. And then na-develop to the point na parang sabi ko lagi na tayong araw-araw magkausap pa. So, I prayed and then I asked permission sa parents niya. So, ayun, pumayag naman. And then, tuloy-tuloy na po. Ayun.
And then you got married dahil pala, nag-serve ba kayo ng Dalgona coffee sa reception ng kasal
Hindi
ninyo?
po.
Kasi doon pala
Hindi
nagsimula
po.
lahat.
Oo nga, no, dapat pala nag-serve kami. Hindi po.
Pero ang cute nun, nagsimula sa panlalait. Tapos ngayon kayo na ang nagkatuluyan dahil sa
Opo.
kape. Marami talagang nade-develop dahil sa kape, ano?
Ah,
How would you describe your life now? Kung nung 2010, tumakbo ng medyo mahaba-haba, it was a very dark period. Kumbaga dark ages ng buhay mo. Asan ka na ngayon, Pau?
For me, nandun pa rin po ako sa still getting to know God even deeply. I'm planning to serve again sa ministry. For some reason, I focus sa work kasi. But, yun nga, I wanna challenge myself din na, na even though busy sa work, I still have time for ministry. So, nandun din ako sa point na may mga mas malakas po yung temptation, especially after marriage. Pero nandun naman yung promise ni Lord eh. So, lahat po nung prayers ko noon 2017, parang when we prayed for a promotion, when we prayed for lifetime partner, fixed relationship with my daughter and her family, lahat nasagot po eh. So parang I have nothing to ask for more now kasi parang my life now is really dependent on God eh. It's a daily cycle na parang, okay, so I'm blessed with this right now. I have a wife, I have a new baby coming. So I have to be a good father. I have to be a good leader. And na-realize ko rin na it's really not about the money. It's not really about the resources you have, but what you do with what you currently have. Na parang naaalagaan mo ba siya? Na are you sharing God's word? Kasi yun yung understanding God's word will lead me na it's the richest in the world. Parang yung pag-strive natin na to be promoted, to have a new house, to have a new car, okay lang naman. It will follow. But if yung foundation natin kay Christ is compromised, yun yung nakakatakot eh. Kasi those material things are just reward eh. It will not save us. But yun nga, we should prepare for our next life. So for me, I'm not there yet. I'm not someone who can be compared sa mga leaders of the church or yung mga grabing like parang sa isang organization, 'di ba, may nami-mention, "Ay, si brother ganito, ganito ang ganda ng mga ginagawa niya." I'm not there yet, but for me, I'm slowly doing what God wants me to do on a daily basis and hoping na there will be more breakthrough or kung ano man yung ibibigay niya, we're still happy and we're still secured kasi ang pinaka-importante na lang naman talaga is having God in the center of our family. So, if walang plan si Lord na payamanin man kami or magkaroon ng magarapong buhay, that's fine. Kasi at least alam namin na we can cling more to the Lord if simple lang yung buhay namin. So, yun.
Pao, sa, sa family na kinalakhan mo, sa mga families na na-encounter mo, at sa experience mo ngayon bilang isang tatay at bilang isang asawa, 3 short words. Ano ang nakikita mo na susi ng masayang tahanan? Lahat ng guests namin, tinatanong ko yan eh. Ano ang 3 susi para sa iyo ng masayang tahanan?
Wala po akong 3 short words eh. Pero siguro po I don't memorize the verse. Pero in everything you do, put Christ first. Put God first. And everything else will follow.
So, susi ng masayang tahanan para kay Pao, talagang ang Panginoon. Unahin ang Panginoon sa lahat ng bagay. Pao, maraming salamat. God bless you. Thank you for sharing your life with us today. And we will continue to pray for you. Lahat naman tayo works in progress, hindi ba? Talagang habang nandito tayo, patuloy lang tayong inaayos at minumold ng Panginoon. May the Lord make you the good and godly father that your children will appreciate and really look up to. God bless you. God bless your family at advance congratulations sa upcoming baby ninyo. God bless you,
Thank you
Pao.
God bless din po si Sir Maloy. And batiin ko lang po yung daughter ko, si Sam, and also yung ninang ko na nag-reach out sa akin to share the gospel. Ninang Susan, she's in Australia right now.
Ako, proud na proud sa'yo ang ninang mo ngayon. Sa wakas, after many years ng pangungulit sa iyo, eto ka na, hindi ba? At nagsha-share ng iyong patotoo dito sa Masayang Tahanan. Kaya maging encouragement din po yan sa atin ha, kung kayo ay mga ninang, auntie, nanay, tatay, na medyo pinapasakit ng anak ninyo ang inyong ulo ngayon. Nako, wag pong susuko, wag magi-give up. Talagang ilapit lang sila ng ilapit sa Panginoon, and in God's perfect time, ayan, gaya ni Pao, no? Isa ng responsible na father at isa ng committed follower of Jesus Christ. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagtutok dito sa Masayang Tahanan. Gaya nga po ng ating narinig kay Pao kanina, unahin ang Diyos sa lahat ng bagay at siya ang mag-aayos sa ating buhay at sa ating pamilya. Ako po ang inyong kumare forever, Maloy Malibiran sa Lumbides. Nagpapasalamat sa inyong panonood at pakikinig ng Masayang Tahanan. Hatid nga po sa inyo ng Back to the Bible Philippines at ng Far East Broadcasting Company. Ang palagi nating paalala, ang Masayang Tahanan, atin pong sama-samang pagsumikapan. God bless our families.
Oras na naman ng pagpapaalam, kaibigan. Kung nais mong magkaroon ng kopya ng ating programa, tumawag lamang sa 371-9489. At kung nakatulong sa iyo at sa iyong pamilya ang Masayang Tahanan, magparamdam ka naman, kapatid! Sumulat ka sa Masayang Tahanan, P.O. Box 1750 Manila. Pwede ka rin magpadala ng email sa broadcasts@backtothebible.org.ph. Hihintayin ka namin uli, kaibigan, sa araw ng Sabado. At sama-sama na naman tayong mag-aaral, mananalangin at magkakasayahan dito sa Masayang Tahanan.
Don't you worry about